Uncle Ron stuff. Today's topic is about the Fujitsu outside unit, an overview of it, and how you get to the coils to clean them. And I've shot some video I'm going to add on later about that. The main things about the Fujitsu outside is it is an R410A unit, that is the refrigerant that goes in it. And I'm going to have a subsequent uh, video about how to charge it. Now, I want to explain, and I'll do it again in the next video, that the normal procedure for a mini split is that you hook up a vacuum to the suction line and you take out all of the coolant. You flush it, clean it, whatever, with nitrogen or whatever they do. And then you calculate the amount that goes back in it and you fill it to that amount. That is the normal, that's what an HVAC technician has to do. On the mini split, there is only the low side port that you can attach a gauge to, and I'll show you that in the next one. Anyway, what I'm going to show you now is the control board that's inside of it and how you get it open to properly clean the coils, which is pretty important on a mini split. Part of that air that's being pulled across those coils is also used to cool a giant heat sink attached to the control board. So you need air flowing over that. Okay, this is the intro to this is a Fujitsu, but most mini splits are going to be very similar in their overall design, construction, and how you take them apart to get to the coils. Today is the 2nd of January 2025. Okay, Uncle Ron's stuff. This has to do with the outside or compressor unit on my Fujitsu mini split. And over here I will come down and show you the plate. If I can get it to focus properly. And you won't be able to read that, but what it shows is various capacities, and I think somewhere down here it shows the total design pressure, left, high side, low side, and I thought it showed the amount of R410A which goes in it, maximum circuit, maximum 410A factory charged, 3 pounds, 1 ounce. It says the factory charge is 3 pounds and 1 ounce. Okay, that's crucial later. You can see back here, and this is an outside temperature sensor right here. Here's my cutoff, and you'll see the high and low side piping coming into it, and you also see that I have 2 cables coming out, going to the cutoff, and out of the cutoff you'll see one headed out that way, the gray line. The Fujitsu actually sends 240 volts up to the indoor unit, which is interesting. Normally such an indoor unit would be 110, but not in this case. Fujitsu used 240 all the way to there. And as far as I can tell, it's just 3 wires. There's not a fourth wire for a control line. It actually must use a pulse modulated signal or something like that on one of the 3 lines that go there. But anyway, first thing you need to do doing anything with this thing is open up the fuse panel, and it is in fact fused on this particular unit. I will zoom back out, and this one is interesting. You pull down and then you swing it open, and then here you can see it's on, and this particular one has fuses in it. So if you're not running, that's one of the things to check. And I always keep a spare set of fuses up inside. And so what I'm going to do is show you how you clean the coils on this particular episode. And it's relatively easy. We have Phillips screws holding the top and the front side on. So I'm going to proceed to do that, and then I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so I've taken the top off, and what I wanted to show you here is the main control board is right underneath this panel that sits here, and not much you can do with this other than I will point out there is a fuse right here. I haven't looked at the circuit breaker, the wiring diagram that is listed on the top of the control board cover. And most likely if you have any sort of failure, it'll be those large capacitors. But you see there's a variety of electronic components here. And I talked about it before, that this is a strange sort of configuration that it varies the frequency to the motor, so it runs at various speeds depending on various sensor inputs that it gets: inside air temperature, outside air temperature, pressure in the high side, low side. Anyway, that's what it looks like, and to remove the front piece, you do that to get to the coils, and I'm going to do that now. Okay, I've gotten the front piece loose. You have to unscrew the Phillips at the bottom, and then you have to lift up, and you'll see there's grooved pieces right there. They have tabs sticking out. You can see it right there. Tabs sticking out that latch into the sides. So now I have the front off. You can see the compressor area, and it's wrapped with soundproofing. That's what that is. Supposed to be a quiet little guy, and there is a reservoir down here. I don't know which one is which, but there's a reservoir in this particular unit because the speed of the fan, the compressor doesn't run at the same speed all the time, so there could be excess coolant buildup in it. There's not much you can do in there. Anyway, that's sealed up. Now you have the coils fully exposed here. And I also want to point out, I show you the control board, and there is this. These are a massive heat sink for the electronics that is over here on this side of the board. And it is important that air gets pulled from the other side over there through the coils over top of this piece to properly keep the electronics cool. There is no sort of heat sink underneath the rest of the board. The fan here turns easily. It's not no fan issue at all. And the fan looks like it's a relatively easy repair if you had to take it out and replace it. Okay, so cleaning the coils. You can buy a foaming coil cleaner at any large retail store. Interesting, I have some cable ties on the anyway, you can foam the inside and from the outside, and then you want to use your hose in a sprayer sort of setting to wash, and you can get back underneath in here, back in there, behind the compressor unit. You can get all that from this side, and you'll notice on the bottom there are holes that allow condensate, or when you wash it, to drain out of the bottom so they don't rust your pan at the bottom up. Nothing wrong with the fan. So what I did was I did the foaming and I squirted the cleaner, and you can't see it, but I can see all the way through the coils to the brick wall beyond, so they're good and clean. And you want to, it's sucking air in from the back side and Xing it this way, so you want to push the dirt out that way. You want to wash from the inside out. Okay. The only other thing to keep in mind is when you're washing, you do not want to get any water in this control housing up here. It sets down on top like that, and you must keep that in place, and don't get any water up near that. And interesting, I have this is the fan unit, and it kind of just sets in there. It's got screwed at the bottom, but it is not screwed at the top. There's no reason to take any more apart to clean. Okay. Again, if it's not running, check your fuses over there. If the fan's not running for some reason, it could have failed, but it's most likely some other problem. But anyway, I'm now going to put it all back together. That's all I really wanted to show you. Put foam on the outside and on the inside, let it soak for a while, and then use a sprayer, kind of a spray like this, not a pencil, but a spray down to all the coils, especially at the bottom. And if you have any gunk down here in this tray, you want to get it out as well. Okay, that's I'll put it back together now.